All right. Good morning and happy Tuesday. How are you there, Stephen?
Good morning, Rogelio. Happy election day.
Election day, exactly. Election day. Get out and vote.
Yep. The U.S. 3 to 4 hour line waits. I did my voting 2 weeks ago. I'm a responsible voter if there is one.
You took care of that ahead of time. Nice, nice. I gotta get that done. My wife and I have to go out in a little bit and take care of that. So,
Good, good.
all right. Well, welcome everybody to another episode of Tuesdays with Ro. Today we have Stephen Reyes with us. He's with Paylocity. So a little bit about him. He's a dedicated human capital management professional and deeply rooted in his hometown of Chicago, where he was born and raised in Little Village. So he's a proud father of a 14-year-old daughter preparing to enter high school. His career spans leading companies such as AT&T, where he excelled in leadership roles across Chicago, Albany, Buffalo, New York, and Ventura, California. And then in 2021, he joined the human capital management industry at Paycheck, so assisting small businesses in Ventura, California with HR and payroll solution. And since 2023, he's been with Paylocity, supporting Chicago-based businesses. So we're gonna get to hear about what he does for small businesses and how he does it. But before that, let's get a little more info on Stephen Reyes' personal and his really background. I just went on the high level of what he does. But Stephen, talk to us about you. Who are
Yeah, a
you
little.
and what are you doing?
I mean, you mentioned, growing up in the city of Chicago. I'm born and raised, and my family is has deep roots in Pilsen, and then me growing up in Little Village, La Villita, man. Talk about a journey, across, not only in Chicago but across the United States, representing multiple large entities like he had mentioned. But man, has it been an experience, a growth experience. I mean, when you travel as much as I have representing some of these companies, the network that you build, the experiences that you build with that network, the people that you help, that you influence, that you help to grow as well is profound. So, but yeah, I'm definitely excited to meet with you here, Rogelio, and just kind of deep dive a little bit more into what I do. But as a professional now in HCM, the industry, yeah, helping small business is my passion. I love it.
Nice.
Anytime that no matter the industry, construction, restaurant, hospitality, you name it, property management. Anytime I get to sit down with an owner or a group of individuals who represent an entity and we talk about their story, it's just, man, it just sends chills down my spine. I love it. It's my passion moving forward.
Nice. Well, welcome, welcome. And again, I mean, you mentioned Little Village, so we have that in common. I was in Little Village when we first came to Chicago when I was 10 years old. So we have that commonality. But and Little Village is such a vibrant and unique part of Chicago. Can you share how growing up there influenced your drive and passion in your career?
Absolutely. Yeah. So Little Village, I actually went to a grade school. Good Shepherd is ran right off of 26th Street, just a little bit of, I want to say west of Pulaski. But just attending there and then growing up in Little Village, I mean, if you were to compare it to anything, I don't think you can. I mean,
Mhm.
a deeply influenced, close-knit community, I would say, of Hispanics, Mexican American, walks of all life coming from, different countries to Chicago and then landing on the near west side, if you want to say that. Little Village has definitely made an imprint on me. With being grateful for what I have, the family
Yeah.
that I grew up in, and it's a mixed community, but I love it. I visit often. My family is still here. We're still
Nice.
planted. We haven't. If I could say anything about my dad, he absolutely loves living in Little Village. So this is where they're going to be forever,
Nice,
until
nice.
death do them part. But with that being said, yeah, what has driven me to be is just to grow outside of my community as well, travel. So take those when the opportunity did arise. So it did push me a little bit to get out of the community. So upstate New York, on the West Coast, Ventura, California, Santa Barbara, just north of LA. So really taking advantage of those moments of getting out of the community as well. But yeah, this is home for me, Little
Yeah,
Village.
that's great. And people that might not be aware of Little Village, but in Chicago, you got the two most vibrant communities for business. It's Michigan Avenue, Magnificent Mile, and second to that is Little Village, that magnificent Mexican Mile right there. So it grosses the second to Michigan Avenue.
The other thing I'll say about Little Village is the food. If you ever have a chance to, definitely make a visit to Chicago, make a trip to Little Village. Some of the great Mexican restaurants. You have El Faro that's been around for decades. You have, if you go to 26th Street, Los Camales is a staple right off of
Mhm.
26 and Kedzie. So there's a lot of like family-owned businesses, restaurants that have been around for as long as I've been alive, which is 40 plus years. But yeah, definitely we'll talk to the food there. Had to have to give them a shout out there.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you there. So, let's talk about your journey from mass communications, where you were with AT&T, to human capital management. What sparked your shift into the world of HR and payroll, and how has your background in communication shaped your approach?
Yeah, I think it's been more so, coming from mass communication background with a minor in small business, as I attended Olivet Nazarene University and was able to get that bachelor degree with the mass communications there. I think it's always been a challenge for me to take on a challenge, never to be scared to back down from any industry. So as I've gone from mass communication, and I think it really started with AT&T, and T, and then taking on the challenge of being best at service, being
Hmm.
best at listening to whether it's a client or it's a customer, no matter their walk of life or where they're coming from. AT&T taught me to be more disciplined in the art of listening. And if you've ever been in sales, or if anybody's ever been in sales, it's always like, oh, I got to get the sale, or I got to hit a goal, or I got to hit a quota, or I got to earn that commission because I Christmas is coming up. But at the end of the day, if you don't build that relationship with that particular client, you're not going to get to where you want to be. So whether it's building teams listening, or whether it's building a potential relationship partnership moving forward with a client or a customer to
Hmm.
gain their trust in their business, the big part of that was listening, and AT&T definitely allowed for me to adopt that discipline. And then AT&T is just a massive organization. If I could give them kudos for just about anything, is their ability to offer growth opportunity,
Okay.
and then for you to learn leadership skills within their organization, and then giving you the chance to be more. I think that was good. They gave me opportunities to relocate, not only, Chicago to New York, then across the country to LA. It's hard pressed to even find that these days, let alone work from home, all that. But there was just a bunch of opportunity with AT&T, and that's why I kind of was drawn to that organization and spent as much time as I did with that particular
Yeah.
organization.
It's great. Definitely touching back on the listening, of course, listening when you're selling, listening is key, right? You have to listen to that client, to listen twice as much as you speak. But then the opportunities that companies such as AT&T has given you and other employees to take on leadership roles and be able to grow, that's kudos to them. So great job there. You know, just listening to some of the companies you work with, AT&T, Paychex, Intuit, and now Paylocity. Wow, you really work with some of the biggest players.
Right.
So, what's been your biggest takeaway from working in leadership and client service roles across those industries?
I think it really starts with who you are as a person, and what you find to be fulfillment. I think that at the end of the day, what drives you? What's your drive? What's your passion to whether it's help people, or I think that really is, no matter if it's AT&T or if it's Paychecks. And then if you want to define it a little bit more, those small businesses that I get to partner with every single day, or if it's a partnership, if I'm working with an accountant office, or if it's a bookkeeping office, or there is just someone behind that position, behind that business, that really it's their livelihood that's on the line.
Hmm.
So if I can be a resource, if I can be a help, if I can be a best partner, um, I love building that relationship and meeting them where they're at, and then being that person that they can go to. You always have that guy. I love being that guy for that partner or that client.
Definitely. You want to be able to for them to say, "I got a guy," and that guy is Steven. So,
That's right.
nice, nice. Now I know you didn't mention this as you spoke, and I didn't mention it before, but I did look at your bio, so I know that
Sure.
you've earned some multiple service excellence awards,
Yeah.
including the AT&T Customer Rules Award. So, what's your
Right.
secret sauce for delivering top-notch client service, and how do you bring that energy to Paylocity?
I think every day you just have to hit the reset button. Even opportunity to opportunity, or you know, if it's customer to customer, if you just gotta know when to just flip that switch and say, hey, this is a new beginning, a new chance to influence someone. And it's more of a natural thing. It's like,
Hmm.
do you love what you do? And if you do, then it's going to be that much easier to gain an award. Some of the awards that I received, like when on basis of service excellence, was a surprise. It was a peer nominated award. So obviously, doing something, it wasn't necessarily a quota that I needed to hit, but it was a reflection of what my peers saw me day to day. And yeah, I just happened to be, upbeat, happy, loving what I do. If you say there's a secret sauce to something, going back to listening to your customer, smiling, put a smile on your face, be excited when servicing people, servicing their business, and again, just being that resource that someone wants to go to time and time again and refer.
Yeah, very good, very good. No, no, I agree with you there. It's always being optimistic and positive with both your clients and your teammates, right? Because I mean, you're delivering a service in any service industry. You're not doing it yourself. You're really they're counting, your teammates are counting on you as well as you're counting on them. And it's always good when they can see that they can definitely count on you at any time. So
Absolutely.
very good. So, let's dive into your current role at Paylocity. How do you tailor HR and payroll solutions to help small and large businesses thrive? And do you have any memorable success stories that you love to share?
Yeah, I'd say there was a pivot, going from AT&T, a communications company, you think cell phones, you think, you know, content watching on television and, servicing those customers definitely had to pivot. You had small businesses there, but you had to pivot to HCM. I had no idea what I was getting into, Rogelio, to tell you the truth. To be honest. But I had a lot of great leaders that took the time to invest in me and to teach me. We all get paid, right? We all get a paycheck, which is, how does that paycheck get printed or deposited my direct deposit? I didn't necessarily know that until I started to get into to dive into HCM. So now
Hmm.
that I'm with HCM between paychecks and now Paylocity in my current role, Paylocity, man, it really does a great job of, if you say three things, what do they do really well? And this is my pitch every single time to a potential client, or if I'm in a presentation. We rely heavily on our pride in service, our
Hmm.
technology, and what would be, how our pricing model, if we really want to dive into that. But first, service, being there for our customers, being there for our clients, answering questions. Being prompt is huge in
Hmm.
today's, no matter what the industry, service industry, whatever it may be, you want to say. And then our technology, we're ever evolving.
Oh yeah.
You sent that request for the bio yesterday. I said, how do I put this together really quick? Guess what? AI has taken over. So, we integrate that technology, that AI technology now into our Paylocity, amongst connecting APIs and connecting other apps that need to go
Hmm.
along with payroll and HR. We're able to go ahead and connect those very easily. But, if you were to say, my experience and time at Paylocity, it's been a easy transition to mold and to adjust to Paylocity's culture, as we're based right out of Schaumburg. So if I ever wanted to
There
head
you
on
go.
up, if I ever needed something to be taken care of on behalf of a client or customer, it's a little bit easier for me to take a ride up to Schaumburg, Illinois, and get that taken care of. But
Yeah, it's nice. It's easier to have the corporate office in your backyard. So that's definitely great. And again, you're right on technology. It changes. It's ever changing and on a daily on a daily basis almost nowadays, especially since AI is getting smarter and smarter every day. Whatever they put in, it's coming back out. So that's
Right.
interesting.
Yeah, and I think just to add, a lot of small businesses look to help, right? And not everybody's a fit with Paylocity, and maybe you have a competitor of ours that you're satisfied with. Um, my thing is, let's talk about it. Let's benchmark what you have ongoing currently. Maybe there's
Hmm.
something that we can touch on you didn't think of initially where Paylocity can help. But if you wanted to talk about, success stories, I think what it really comes down to and falls upon is being open to having a conversation about something that more does need to be evaluated. And 50% of businesses are evaluating currently as this time we're going into the new year, you know,
Hmm.
more open to talk than ever. So um, like I said, be happy to just have a conversation, tell you a little bit about the Paylocity story, tell you about the three pillars of what Paylocity prides himself on, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, very good. And sometimes a success story might not be immediate, but it might be just letting a prospect know we're not the right fit for you right now, but then they come back around and then they see, you know what, you said it correctly. I wasn't the right fit not then. I could be now. So that's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now you mentioned that you work with a diverse array of industries from restaurants to construction. Do you find that each industry has a unique HR challenges or are there common hurdles that all businesses face?
Example, construction, right? So you think Paylocity, you think payroll, HR, onboarding, but cost, how do I assign hours to a particular job? So job costing is big. So that's something that, of recent, we've been helping more construction contractors, helping them assign some of those jobs. So where some of those pay rates can be assigned appropriately, it just
Hmm.
makes maybe that admin, whoever's in charge of those particular assignment, that part of payroll HR, we can help them with that. So the other side of things is I'm surprised. You know what? I'm not surprised how many businesses still use pen and paper, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you live in the state of Illinois, let alone payroll HR, let alone retirement, let alone benefits, how do you stay compliant with everything?
Hmm.
So, no matter what the industry, these are the challenges that businesses face on an everyday base. And we can help. We can make your life easier
No,
just by showing you. And we do a hell of a demo, if I can say that, and be open to doing that with just about anybody that may be interested for sure.
definitely. One of the it's a four-letter word that businesses sometimes don't think about, but it's a four-letter word. It's risk. And you guys helping them manage that risk, ensuring that they're compliant, ensuring that they are adhering to their costs, and knowing how to prepare. That's a good thing. So,
Right.
accountants help you there. Insurance companies help you, your banker, and you guys in risk, try to manage that risk. That's what you want to be doing. So great.
Absolutely. I'll add one more thing on that. We pride ourselves on payroll, HR, onboarding, recruiting. But the great thing about Paylocity is I love to partner with financial advisors, accountants, benefits brokers, you name it. You we can integrate with those particular partners. So it's not those parts of things we hand those off. We actually bring you in and integrate with those particular partners. So as that's another thing I'm excited to do with Paylocity is continue to build those partnerships as we move forward.
No, great addition right there. So let's talk about at the beginning you mentioned Chicago, being there in Little Village. So your love for Chicago, and you mentioned you like Chicago sports, and admiration for MJ, who are well known. So how has MJ's work ethic and leadership style influenced your professional approach, especially when collaborating with teams?
Yeah, so I grew up in the 80s, and that's right around the time when Michael Jordan really hit the scene. I mean, his story I love it. I can watch it over and over and over again just because it's so inspirational. From when he was a kid and not the best at what he did, But as he was growing up and the family really did push him to be who he was. And then he came across some awesome coaches along the way. But I think what really hits home for me is not the Nike shoes. I mean, I don't even think I have one pair of Jordans. I think I had a pair of Jordans back when I was in fifth grade, and that was it. But I think it was just more along the lines of how his discipline, his work ethic, really can be applied just across the board with my even my business ethnic. I challenge myself to wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning and go to work out and get ahead of the game. Hey, just
Hmm.
waking up in the morning, making a bed. Hey, just going to the gym. Hey, drinking a gallon of water a day. That much more puts me at an advantage, I feel mentally and with the discipline of knowing that I'm getting the ball rolling, so to speak. But not just that, Michael Jordan, he challenged his team. Anytime you hear him talk about the practices that went on between him and some of his championship teams,
Hmm.
it was a love-hate experience for some of the players just because he drove them to be the best in practice, in game, didn't matter the situation. To be the best, you had to prep the best. You had
Hmm.
to be that much better than the competition. And that's what, where many players either went along with it or they didn't. But along the way, they collected some rings, right? Same thing with me. I challenge not only myself but my team. I love my team with Paylocity. I'm not the best at what I
Hmm.
do, but I know that we work as hard together and we push ourselves to be the best. Whether it's cold calling, cold blocks, making sure we stay disciplined, making sure that we're setting our appropriate meetings that
Hmm.
are required, making sure that we're continuing to build our required connections with our partners, whether they're accountants or whether they're financial advisors, benefits brokers, making sure that we're setting the networking events. We're just staying super active, and it's every week. It's not taking, I mean, you take a vacation, but at the end of the day, we're staying disciplined with our Outlook calendar. We're making sure that we're staying disciplined with our conversations and our meetings, and
Yep.
we're making sure that we're staying disciplined with the time that we have out in the field. So we all do that as a team. We make ourselves better doing it. Michael Jordan did it. We can do it. Then hey, we're not going to get NBA championships, but hey, we're
Now,
gonna make some progress as a result.
yeah, and you touched up on the items, right? Discipline, follow up, and the number one thing is practice. You have to practice it. Uh, I'm not a basketball person. I'm not that athletic, but I do like to play golf. Not that I'm good at it, but when I do see it out there, it's when I go play. There's some people that will play with us, and they're probably as I'm probably worse than them, but I see them. I'm a better coach than a doer. So I'll tell people what to do, but I won't do it myself. But I'll say, hey, you're practicing a shot, and then you do a different shot. So why do you practice something and do something different? Do what you practice.
Right.
And they improve and they say, oh wow, that was interesting. Like, well, yeah, you're doing practicing something, might as well stick to it and do it. And that's what you're doing. You gotta practice, you gotta do what you practice. That's how you excel. So great.
Absolutely.
Right, good, good. Now, going back to the personal side, you mentioned you're a dad to a 14-year-old daughter getting ready for high school. Um, so balancing fatherhood and a demanding career isn't easy. What lessons from your professional life do you find yourself applying at home and vice versa?
To be honest, really, I chased career for a moment. Really saying to myself what does success look like? In the 6 to 7 days that came with my time at certain points in my career, and I said, okay, well, let me try something different. That's what also pushed the transitional periods between companies more so was the
Hmm.
chance to spend more time with family. Now more than ever, making time for not only my daughter but my parents, my brothers, making sure that there's time put aside. I love my Monday through Friday schedule with Paylocity. I'm not gonna lie. May it might dip into occasional, maybe 30 minutes on a Saturday, but was definitely another reason why I chose the career where I'm at. I'm able to fit the mold, whether it's holidays off, whether it's making, setting those holidays off to plan vacations or time, just simple time. I think, spending a breakfast, being making sure, if you talk about being disciplined in your career life,
Hmm.
but being disciplined in your family life. So, making sure that you make those moments happen with, whether it's a girlfriend or whether it's my daughter, that's important to me.
Hmm.
So just watching her, shoot a bow and arrow is just like, I don't even think I can do that. I'm gonna try that this weekend. But
Yeah.
making the time to just know that you're there and listening and watching is huge for me these past few years. Um, so moving forward, definitely that is something that is ingrained in my schedule and in my calendar. But yeah, it's not just with my daughter, but also with my family as well. It's those times are definitely precious.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I agree with you there. So, following up and then and almost here down to the wrapping up part, but so, we talked about velocity and HR technology. In a world of constant evolution in HR tech, what are some exciting trends that you see shaping the future of human capital management, and how's velocity staying ahead of the curve?
Well, we touched on it a little bit earlier today. I've seen, AI pretty much in everything, and you kind of think, for me, I've seen technology for some time, you Google something, there's the answer.
Hmm.
But now you're really turning into Google on steroids, if you want to say that. You type in a request and then something is done for you on your behalf and it's done appropriately, smart, where it gets the task done with compliance. So as Paylocity continues forward with that concept, you if I were to show you a demo, I can show you AI assist in many parts of what would be the HR payroll aspect,
Hmm.
recruiting, onboarding aspect, where AI is integrated into our one platform. So really, if it's a new admin coming on, if it's someone that's been experienced with Paylocity for some time, this is like a game changer. You're really
Hmm.
not guessing anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, you still have our service aspect. You can chat us, you can email us. We have U.S. reps on standby in Schaumburg. But man, if you were to say, I love self-service, but if I can add AI to that concept and get what I need done faster, done. I mean, that's just what I've seen is a game changer, and I love how Paylocity has definitely integrated that into their system, and it catches a lot of people off guard. It's caught me off guard. And we talk about mobile. I mean, mobile's been a thing for a minute. Can I do everything from a phone, or can I do everything from my laptop or a tablet? It's a one login access, and you're in to your platform, whether you're the admin or whether you're the employee who's looking to clock in, clock out, or who's looking to check a schedule, or who's looking to download a W-2 as easy that may sound. That's a challenge for some businesses. We made HR, the employee lifecycle, easy, but now we're hyping it up with AI and people are loving it. Some great
Yeah.
feedback coming there.
Well, I would say it's as you said, it's not guessing; it's an educated guess now. It's really an educated guess.
Right, right. No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, let's end on a fun note there, Steven. If you could bring one Chicago sports legend to a Paylocity team building event, who would it be? And what activity would you do to spark some NJ inspired teamwork?
You know what? I mentioned MJ is someone that I really, comes to mind. He influenced Kobe Bryant. He influenced a lot of players to be like the best. But I'll give you one different. So Ozzie Guillen is my guy, man. He won the only White Sox championship in my lifetime. He is not the most professional, but he's the most down to earth. He's a father. If you've ever seen him with his
Hmm.
kids and his family, he can tell you a lot of stories. I've heard a lot of stories of him, even outside the baseball arena, but just to see how he took a team that wasn't expected to win anything, and he really took it to that next level. He built a team that believed in themselves.
Hmm.
So if I could bring that in and maybe no one would really know who he is, but when he really gets into how the passion, the drive, the love for the sport, the love for what he does, the love for the excitement, just investing in his players and his team and his other coaches, man, it just gives me chills. And then the fact that he brought the team and actually won the World Series, that was just the icing on the cake. But his stories is if you want to say the underdog, that's him. I would love
That's
to bring him into a room and say, "Hey, team, here, listen to this guy for a second. You might not understand what he's saying, but you'll definitely feel the passion and energy."
yeah. No, he's a great guy. I know that he supported the Hispanic Business Network organization, which is one organization that I co-founded with Carmen Jimenez, and he's been at a couple of our golf outings, and he's always willing to support. So great,
Yes.
great guy. Well, again, Stephen, hey, thanks a lot for stopping in today with Tuesdays with Rob. Appreciate getting to know Stephen a little bit more and the career path and the stories behind you, what makes up Stephen. So thanks a lot. Everybody, we'll see you next week. We'll have another guest. Thank you very much for joining today.
Thanks, Leo.